Man. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ما بعد. So tonight, inshallah, we're going to continue, and we stopped in the chapter of the conditions of the salat. And we did the times of the prayers, and we finished the times of the prayers. Tayyib. So the next section, the author, rahimahullah, we go to a section where we say, like, well, this is a question. What does it mean when you say, for example, I missed the salat? If I miss a salat, I missed the salat. What does that mean? Or what do people mean? The time frame? The time went out. So I didn't pray the salat on time. Tayyib. So brothers or sisters, either way, you come to the masjid, right? You come to the masjid for Asr. When you come in the masjid, everybody's making dhikr. Right? Everybody's making dhikr. The question is what? Did I miss the salat? Right? Is the time frame done? So what's the difference? Mm-hmm. Did I miss the congregation? Because it's still time for the salat. I didn't miss the salat in that case. I just missed the jama'ah, the group salat, the group prayer, but it's still time. It's still plenty of time to pray Asr, right? So I'm doing this intentionally so we get used to being real specific about what we're saying so that we don't keep generalizing statements, which leads to other misunderstandings. In one case, we say, I missed the salat, meaning the time for the salat is finished and the next time for the next prayer is already started, right? I missed the salat. And it could be a reason for me missing the salat, right? It could be numerous reasons. Or I come to the prayer, I come to pray Asr. They pray Asr at 5:15. I get to the masjid at 5:45 or 5:35. I get there as people leaving out. You stop a person. You say, y'all prayed? Yeah, we prayed. Dad, I missed it. Meaning, not I missed the time for the prayer. I just missed the congregational salat. Now, what's the benefit of praying with the group? Unity with the brothers, a large reward. What's specifically the benefit of praying in jama'ah? According to the hadith, at the least, praying in congregation with the jama'ah, at the least, according to the two different statements of the Prophet ﷺ, is 25 times better than praying by yourself. So you pray by yourself, you get one reward, right? You pray in the jama'ah with the group, the congregation. Y'all pray together. One imam leads, everybody follows. The Prophet ﷺ said in more than one hadith, is 25 times better than praying alone. And another hadith is 27 times better than praying alone, right? So it's better to pray in the jama'ah. Tayyib, in this section, I think it's like page 201, if I'm not mistaken, if you're using the PDF. In this section, the author, rahimahullah, he says, تُدْرَكُ الصَّلَاةِ بِتَكْبِيرَةِ الْإِحْرَامِ فِي وَقْتِهَا. This is the first situation we're talking about. So one thing we say is, I missed the salat, and the other thing we say is, I'm trying to catch the salat, right? All right, if I'm trying to catch the salat, what am I saying? What does that mean? I'm trying to catch the salat. I'm trying to pray before the time goes out, or I'm trying to catch the congregation. Same two things, right? In this case, he's talking about before the time goes out for the next prayer. Like, what's the bare minimum I can do to make sure I prayed every salat in its time? Everybody with me? The bare minimum that I had to do to make sure I prayed the salat on time. Not that I'm trying to wait until the next salat is coming in to pray. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm saying I'm in a situation. I don't want to delay my prayer outside of the time I'm supposed to pray. It's Asr, it's almost Maghrib, right? I'm moving around, whatever I forgot. Oh, it's time to pray. I got to pray. Tudrak is salat. You catch the salat in its proper time as long as you make the takbiratul ihram in the time. Meaning, as long as I say the opening takbir, Allahu Akbar. If I do that, and then the mu'adhin says, Allahu Akbar, that means that I prayed Asr in the time of Asr. Everybody with me? My salat is considered on time in the same time as Asr as long as I make the takbiratul ihram, Allahu Akbar, the first one. This is the first one. That means the rest of my salat is going to be in what time? In the time of Maghrib. Everybody with me? Everybody clear? Follow. Say it again.
Would you still pray Asr? Or would you just pray Maghrib?
I'm already praying Asr. So say, for example, tonight, whatever time the adhan is, a brother comes in here or a sister comes in here 1 minute before the adhan. Say the adhan is 8:20. Somebody come in at 8:19 and they say, Allahu Akbar. Then he says, Allahu Akbar and starts for Asr, not for Maghrib, because he can't pray Maghrib. Maghrib's not in. You with me? He comes, he didn't pray Asr. Moving around, got stuck in traffic. His intention was to get to the masjid. By the time he get here, it's 8:19. The adhan for Maghrib is 8:20. If he prays Asr at 8:25, that means he's doing what? He's making up Asr because the time is finished. It's a difference. He's not making up Asr. He doesn't want to make up Asr. He comes in here at 8:19. He says, Allahu Akbar, and he starts praying Asr. The mu'adhin says, after he says Allahu Akbar, the mu'adhin says, Allahu Akbar for Maghrib. That means the person who's praying, they made Asr on time, even though the rest of their prayer is going to be in the time of Maghrib. Everybody clear? So the takbiratul ihram, that's the opening takbir. The first time we say Allahu Akbar, that's called the opening takbir. Takbiratul ihram, that's what it's called. Three things, you catch three things, as we say, you catch. You catch three things with the takbiratul ihram, with that opening takbir. Everybody with me? You ready? The first thing is, like we just spoke about, you catch the salat on time as long as you make the takbiratul ihram in the salat time. Everybody with me? Like we just spoke about. Cool. The next thing you catch with the takbiratul ihram is the jama'ah. You get the reward for praying jama'ah as long as you join the salat with the imam. So for example, you come in the masjid and everybody's sitting down doing a tashahhud. Right? Everybody's sitting down in the tashahhud. Some people call it the tashahhud. It's not really the tashahhud. The tashahhud is called a tashahhud. Right? You come in there, everybody's doing a tashahhud. The tashahhud, right? So boom. Some people, they're going to stand back and wait till people and start gathering another jama'ah. You pray yet while they still praying. Some people standing around. Some people just, I've seen brothers, they just go over there and start praying by themselves while the jama'ah is still praying. They didn't salam out yet. They still making salat. Why would you go over there and make a takbir in the corner by yourself and get how many rewards? One. When you can join the salat with the imam and get at least 25. How do I know that I'm joining with the imam? As long as I make the takbiratul ihram. I say Allahu Akbar with the jama'ah, right? As soon as I say Allahu Akbar, the imam says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah, I'm late. Yeah, I got to make up my salat. But I still court the congregation, the jama'ah. Everybody clear? So you get the reward for praying jama'ah. Everybody clear?
That's number two.
That's number two. The first one that we catch with the takbiratul ihram is what? The salat in its time. So I say Allahu Akbar for Asr, and then the mu'adhin says Allahu Akbar, Allah. As soon as I say Allahu Akbar, they start calling the adhan for Maghrib. I call Asr in its time. The second one is I catch the jama'ah. The third one is wujub as-salat. the obligation of the prayer. So, for example, can a woman pray on her menses? No, she's not haram. Not allowed to pray on her menses. If she did pray, it doesn't count. Anyway, cool. A woman is on her mens, and the adhan, that means she didn't pray Fajr today. She didn't pray Dhuhr today. She didn't pray Asr today. And it's Asr right now. So guess what happens? The adhan for Maghrib is 8:20. At 8:10, she notices that her mens is done. So she wants to pray, which means it's a process. She has to make a ghusl. She does all of that, right? She does all of that, makes a ghusl. Or before that, scratch that. Same thing. The adhan for Maghrib is 8:20. She hasn't prayed. But she notices at 8:15, say 8:15. It could be 8:18, y'all. I'm going to just use 8:15. She notices at 8:15 that her men's cycle is finished. That means if her men's cycle is finished, is what now? It's obligatory for her to pray. Asr, she has to pray Asr, right? Even though Maghrib is about to come in, does she still have to pray Asr? She has to pray Asr. That was at 8:15. If she noticed at 8:18 her men's was done, she still has to pray Asr. If she noticed at 8:19, she still got to pray Asr. As long as it's enough time, as long as she noticed her menses was finished, and she had enough time to say Allahu Akbar, she has to pray. Once the obligation, once the whatever's blocking the person from it being obligatory on them to pray, once that's removed, they have to pray that salat as long as it's enough time to do the takbiratul ihram. Same thing would apply if a person didn't have to pray because let's just say they didn't reach the age of puberty yet. So let's say they go to sleep. They go to sleep because one of the signs of age of puberty is that a person has, right, a wet dream, nocturnal emission. Tayyib, person goes to sleep after Asr, right? They wake up at 8:18. And when they wake up, they notice they had a wet dream. If they had a wet dream, that means they reached the age of puberty, right? The adhan for Maghrib is at 8:20, right? That means it's still Asr. That means at 8:18, is that enough time to say Allahu Akbar for Asr? That means it's obligatory for them to make Asr. Those are the three things that a person catches with the takbiratul ihram. Tayyib. The next issue, he says, وَلَا يُصَلِّ قَبْلَ غَلَبَةِ ظَنِّهِ بِدُخُولِ وَقْتِهَا إِمَّا بِاجْتِهَادٍ أَوْ بِخَبْرٍ. طيب. The next issue, it says, I left my paper. Hamza, come here. It says, you do not pray. You do not pray. Ask the settle off, you got some papers for me. You do not pray if you have doubt if it's time, if the prayer time has started. Everybody with me? What's the situation? You out moving around. You don't know what time Asr. What time the Asr come in? I don't know. I think it comes in at 5. No, I think it's 5:30. Is Asr 5:30? Okay. Is Asr 5 or 5:30? I think it's 5:30. I don't know. You don't just mean I think it's in. I'm gonna just pray. No, you don't do that. What time is Asr? I think it's 5. Is it 5 or 5:30? I don't know what it is. It got to be around something like that. Let's just pray, y'all. Call it. Everybody with me? You don't do that. In order to pray, when it comes to a situation like that, it says you don't pray until you do two things, one or two things, one of two. You do one or the other. It says imma bi ijtihadin. Either you're going to put forth some effort to actually try to figure out if it's time to pray. How do you do that? Look outside. What I'm looking at when I go outside. I'm checking my shadow outside. It looked like it's awesome. Let me see, go outside. Or what else are we going to do? You might check an app. You got to put forth some effort to try to figure out if it's time to pray or not. Everybody with me? Everybody clear? The first thing you got to do before you pray, you have to put forth some effort to try to figure out and make sure it is time to pray. You yourself. Let's just use the example. I'm gonna go outside and look at look at the sky. We always say look at the sky, but for real, what am I looking at? I'm really looking at the shadows, right? So I'm looking at the ground. Or you look at the sky, either way. Tell you, that's one thing, meaning I'm putting forth my own effort to try to figure it out. Once I do that, then I can go and pray. Which means we don't just sit around. We in the car together, we get out the car, or we sit in the car. Is it time to pray, Asa? Or is it time to pray? Is it 5 or 5:30? I don't know. What time is it? 5? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And then we just be like, man, it's probably, and let's just pray. No. If it's 5 or 5:30, y'all, and we don't know which one it really is, just in that case by itself, which one would be safer to do? 5:30 or 5:35. It's even safer, but that's not how we do. We're supposed to put forth effort. Myself. Let me go outside and look. Go outside. I'm looking at the shadow. I know it got to be 2. Pulling up the app. Your internet not loading on your phone now. As soon as you need the time, the internet won't load. You got to put forth some effort. You go somewhere, the Wi-Fi don't be working. As soon as you need it's not working. You put forth some effort. Once you put forth some effort, then you can go ahead and pray. Everybody clear? That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm not necessarily putting forth effort. He says, but somebody who is sure, I don't know if it's time to pray, but I ask you, is it time for Asa? Yeah, it's time. The event was at 5:15. So, it's 5:20. He was sure. I can ask somebody who's sure about the time to pray, and then we could pray off of that. Everybody clear? It's 2 things that's going to happen. Either I'm going to put forth the effort to figure out if it's time to pray, with whatever tools I have to figure that out, or I can ask somebody who's a trustworthy person. They're not just trustworthy, though. They're trustworthy and they're sure. The person I asked, they're sure it's time to pray. Meaning, even though I know the sheikh is trustworthy, I say, Sheikh, is it time to pray? Sheikh, like, I don't know. I think it is. Is he sure? We're not going on that. I'm going to ask somebody else that's trustworthy. I don't have a paper. I'm waiting on the paper. I think it's like 202. Might be 201. It's 202. 202. If you had the PDF, 202. Everybody clear? That's before I pray, assuming that I don't know what the prayer is. What does it say right there, though? How do you translate that?
He should not pray until he's convinced that the time of prayer has begun. This is because
he should not pray until he is convinced that the time of prayer has begun. I ain't sure. You don't pray on it just, I think it's in. Let's just pray, y'all. No, we got to make sure. We got to at least do some footwork, something. Look at the shadow, pull some apps up, call somebody, do something. Either I'm going to do the work or I'm going to ask somebody who's trustworthy and they're sure that it's time to pray. Well, I'm just saying in our situation, who could you possibly call?
Call you.
Don't call me. No. Come here, Sam, real quick. Call the masjid. Jade, come here real quick. Call the masjid. If you call the masjid or somebody you know is at the, do me a favor. Can you hit that black button right there on the phone? The top one. Yeah, hit that. All right, now. Oh, man. Let's slide the joint up. No. On the screen, slide it up. Open the phone up. Yeah. Is it on you? Yeah. It's on your side?
It's facing.
It's on your side, though?
Yeah.
All right. Inshallah. Everybody clear? Tayyib. I'm sorry, y'all. They always got me with this stuff, man. Like I'm not that great at this. Tayyib. The next issue. So say, for example, that a person, they had to do one of 2 things. Either they tried to figure it out or they asked somebody who was a trustworthy person, but the person they asked, they were sure it's time to pray. They my 2 options, right? The next issue is, say if I tried to figure it out. So what do? We pray. Everybody clear? I go outside, I look at the shadow, I do whatever I got to do, I look on the app, and we pray. If that's the case, the next issue is in ahrama bijtihadin fabana qablahu fanaflan. We pray the salat. After the salat, I find out that we prayed too early. Everybody with me? I went outside, I looked at the shadow, I tried to do the best I could do. Most of us not going to do that. Most people going to pull up the app. The app not working, they keep rebuffing, is buffering and all that, can't get to it. I go outside and look at the shadow. I say, yeah, it's time. I make it ijtihad. That's what we're supposed to do, right? To the best of my ability. I go outside, it look like it's time. So we pray at 5:10. Cool. Once we finish praying, alhamdulillah, the internet's working, the app pop back up. The app says 5:30. That means we prayed what? We prayed too early. If that happens, then that prayer that we prayed is a voluntary prayer. It's a voluntary prayer. It's not going to count as the obligatory prayer. It's not going to count as the obligatory prayer. That's a voluntary prayer. That means we have to do what? Pray Asr again. Everybody clear? You can't just like, man, but I tried, I prayed. No, you prayed too early. You didn't pray in this right time, so. It's no sin. You prayed too early. That's not a sin. Everybody with me? Praying too early is not a sin. So it's not like we're sinful for praying too early. We tried our best to figure it out, and we didn't make it. We were wrong. Cool. That was a voluntary prayer, and we have to pray again in the proper time. Tayyib. And of course, the opposite is the same. We find out that we did pray on time, and we don't have to pray again. Meaning, if I go outside and I looked at the shadow and we prayed at 5:10, our internet wasn't working. By the time we finished praying, we open up our phones and the app says 5:05. We on time, right? We good. We don't have to pray over. We're fine. We prayed on time. Everybody clear?
I have a question.
Fadlan.
Is it a certain time limit? Like, say, I don't know, an hour went past and you found it. Like, you know what time you finish the prayer, like, do it.
I know. We working on it. Yeah.
So like you found out like an hour later. You
Good.
Go back and make the prayer?
Either banner. Once it becomes apparent that you prayed too early, right? You sure? I'm sure we prayed too early. You got to pray over. I'm sure. What if you never found out you prayed too early? It don't matter. Once you become sure, yo, we prayed too early, man. Yeah, we prayed like 25 minutes too early that day. For real? We pray, yeah, man, we pray Asa, we always there, we stand, yeah. We prayed 25 minutes early. Once you become clear, you sure you pray early, you got to pray again.
Would it still be voluntary prayer, like how you said you took the necessary steps, you went outside, you shared? Let's just say you sitting around somebody like, it's time to pray. I don't know. Are we gonna pray anyway? You pray, and you find out that the prayer came in 20 minutes later. You still get the reward as a voluntary prayer, even though you didn't take the necessary steps to try to find.
That was a lot. I was with you for like, it sound like the same scenario. If you ask a person, that person has to be what? Sure. Number one, they got to be a trustworthy person you ask, and they have to be sure. If you ask a brother or sister, is it time to pray? They're like, I don't know. Are they sure? Then we're not praying. We're not praying on we don't pray salat. Any of the salats, we don't pray on I don't know if it's time to pray yet. But let's just offer. We all hyped up, we ready to pray. Let's just offer, man. Let's get this joint in. Nah, right? We still need to make sure it's time to pray. We need, in the two ways we figured it out, either me, myself, or one of us, it's a group of us, one of us, we're going to go figure it out, however we got to figure it out, or we can call somebody. Somebody say, you at work, for example, you can call, if you know somebody at the masjid, call somebody at the masjid. Y'all pray, they call their name yet? No, people probably do it all the time during Ramadan, because they want to know if their name went off to break fast, right? What about for a regular prayer? Regular prayers have to be prayed on time also. Tayyib. Tayyib. Tayyib, the next situation. He says, وَإِنْ أَدْرَكَ الْمُكَلِّفِ مِنْ وَقْتِهَا قَدْرَ تَحْرِيمًا. So this is the situation where a person, right, it's time to pray. The adhan goes off for the salat. When the adhan goes off for the salat, let's use this one because it's probably the easier thing. The sister, she goes to make wudu, right? She goes to make wudu, and when she goes to make wudu, she notices her mens is on. Everybody with me? Sisters, you with me? Nah, I need the remote. Yeah. She goes to make wudu, and she notices her mens is on, right? When did her mens come on? Did her mens come on during the time of Asr or during the time of Maghrib? Nah. Tell me you gotta come turn it on too. Did her mens come on during the time of Asr or Maghrib? Pay attention. Pay attention. We are sitting all here right now. The sister prayed Asr. She prayed Asr. She's here now. This ain't nobody. I'm just saying, for example. Not none of the sisters over there. But I'm saying sister's here now. She's in the masjid. She prayed Asr in the masjid. Halas. It's time for Maghrib. She goes to go make wudu. Right, for Maghrib. She noticed that her mens is on. When did her mens begin? In her estimation, her mens wasn't on during Asr. So her mens must have just came on during Maghrib. Right? After the adhan of Maghrib. Clear? Everybody with me? After the adhan of Maghrib. Which means if her mens came on during the adhan of Maghrib, that means she had enough time after the adhan of Maghrib to say Allahu Akbar. I'm sorry, y'all. Scratch that one. Start over. You follow me? Scratch that one. Start over. Because there's two situations. Maybe the first situation is easier. Because the mens could be a little tricky. Tayyib. You ready? We starting over. Same situation, right? It's a room full of people. We all sitting here, right? Everybody's fine. It's time for Maghrib. The brother calls the adhan for Maghrib. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. A brother passes out. He passed out when? Was Maghrib in? Maghrib was in, which means if Maghrib is in, it's obligatory for all of us to pray Maghrib, even him that passed out. Maghrib is obligatory for him. Not while he's unconscious, but when Maghrib came in, Maghrib was obligatory on him. Jazakallah khairan. He did the smallest print they had. Maghrib was obligatory on him when it came in, even though he fainted. He lost consciousness, right? Which means when he gains his consciousness back, he still owes that Maghrib. Everybody with me? Is that clear? I'll say it again. We all sitting in a room, and I'm going to use a different salat. Any salat, it doesn't matter what salat, but I'm going to use a specific salat. We all here for Dhuhr. Right? You all right? Sisters, if somebody unplugged that cord in the wall, it's not going to come on. So them orange cords in the wall have to stay in the wall. Or if you unplug the orange cords, the TV's not going to come on. So we sitting in a room, right? The adhan goes off. You with me? Y'all with me? Salatul Dhuhr. The adhan goes off for Dhuhr. When the adhan goes off for Dhuhr, a brother faints, passes out, loses consciousness, loses his sanity. He doesn't have to pray while he's unconscious and not sane, right? But when he gains his sanity back, he still owes Dhuhr. Why? Because he had his sanity when the adhan was called. Everybody clear? The adhan goes off, he was fine. As soon as the adhan was done, he falls out. Now we got to delay the salat, we got to pick him up, call an ambulance, da, 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 da. So when he's taken care of and leaves, we're all going to pray Dhuhr. What about the brother? What about him, the person that's sick? Yes, he has to make it up. He or she has to make it up. Why? Because when the salat came in, they were fine. So the salat is still obligatory on them. Everybody with me? Is that clear?
He was conscious when it came up.
Huh? Oh, I don't know what happened. Everybody clear?
He was conscious when it came up.
He was conscious when it came in. The point is, the point is, when the salat came in, when the adhan went off, was the brother okay? He was fine. Everybody get up and start praying. As soon as you turn around, he falls over. Allah protect us, right? I mean, for Salatul Dhuhr, it's important. Salatul Dhuhr is important, all right? That means we got to call an ambulance, get them settled. The ambulance come get them, take them away. We're going to do what? Everybody's going to come back here and pray Dhuhr. Everybody clear? What's the point? He still owes that salat. Everybody clear? Tayyib. The same idea applies if a woman's mens came on like that. If her mens wasn't on when the adhan went off, it's obligatory for her to pray that prayer. Say her mens comes on 5 minutes later. She can't pray. Sisters, y'all with me? Her mens comes on 5 minutes after the adhan. She can't pray now because her mens is on. But guess what? When her mens goes off in 5 to 7 days, guess what she still has to pray? That maghrib. Is that clear? The maghrib that she owed. Why? It came in, it was obligatory for her. As long as it was enough time for her to say Allahu Akbar and pray, that maghrib or whatever the salat was, when her mens goes off, she has to pray the prayer that she missed. Just that prayer. Everybody clear? Just that prayer. Why? Say if it was maghrib, right? They called it in for maghrib, her mens wasn't on. 5 minutes later, her mens comes on. She owes maghrib. He said, well, what about Isha? Does she owe Isha? She doesn't owe Isha. Why? When the adhan for Isha came in, her mens was already on. Everybody get it? Tayyib. The next issue, he says, وَمِنْ صَارَ أَهْلًا لِوُجُوبِهَا قَبْلَ خُرُوجِ وَقْتِهَا لَزِمَتْهُ وَمَا يُجْمَعُ عَلَيْهِ إِلَيْهَا قَبْلَهَا. Get the page I need and shit. That's 204. Yes.
So, summarize basically what you're saying is when the salat comes in, you meet all the conditions. It's obligatory.
Yes. Even if you lose something after the adhan.
Right.
You might lose something after the adhan. You might lose consciousness after the adhan. Her mens might come on after the adhan was already in. All right, that's my job to go back and make that prayer up once I'm fixed, once my situation is better. Tayyib. Tayyib. He says, whoever, well, let's use dhuhr. We're going to use dhuhr. Tayyib, we're using dhuhr. And I'm only using these because these are the two, hopefully these are the easiest situations. They kind of the same. The situation we just spoke about was after the adhan. Tayyib, after the adhan. You ready? I'll start with the person being, let's use mens. Her mens is on all day. That means she didn't pray Fajr. She didn't pray Dhuhr. And then there's Asr. Right? The adhan for Maghrib is at 8:20. Her mens goes off at 8 o'clock. Does she have to pray Asr? Pay attention. Yeah, she still got to pray Asr still in. The adhan for Maghrib is at 8:20. Her mens goes off at 8 o'clock. Does she have to pray Asr? Yes, it's still Asr. Pay attention, sisters. She has to pray Asr and she has to pray Dhuhr. Ma yujma'. She has to pray the two prayers that can be combined. Can you combine Dhuhr and Asr?
Yeah.
Dhuhr and Asr can be combined. If I was traveling, I can combine Dhuhr and Asr. Weather conditions, I can combine Dhuhr and Asr. A person sick, she takes the ruling. A person like that takes the ruling of the people who combine the two prayers. So she wouldn't just pray Asr, she would pray Dhuhr and Asr. 2 and 2. Not 2 and 2. She's not traveling. 4 and 4. Pray Dhuhr regular and Asr regular. She's not traveling. Shortened prayers is for the traveler. She's sitting in her house all day. She's not praying because her mens is on. Tayyib, she didn't pray Fajr. She didn't pray Dhuhr. Around Asr, 8 o'clock, she noticed her menses finished. That means what? If her menses finished, she knows she has to make a ghusl, everything else she has to do to pray Asr. But you have to pray Asr and the prayer that can be combined with Asr, which is Dhuhr. She doesn't have to pray Fajr. Everybody clear? Like, say the same thing happened, same day, same thing happened, and now it's Maghrib. She didn't pray Maghrib. Now it's Isha. She noticed before Fajr, before the adhan of Fajr, she noticed that her mens was finished. Before the adhan of Fajr, she noticed that her mens was finished. What does she have to pray? Maghrib and Isha. It's before Fajr, so it's still the time for Isha. And she has to pray the salat that combines with Isha, which is Maghrib. So she would pray Maghrib and Isha. Normal, y'all. She's not a traveler.
What if she is?
What if she's what?
What if she travel? Because that can happen.
Even if she's traveling, the same rule is going to apply.
No, I'm talking about can she pray 2 and 2 or she has to pray 1 4 if she travel. See what I mean? Because that can happen.
Don't worry about that part. This is more important right now because we're going to get to that. More important, the salats she has to combine, she has to pray them. I'm only saying that because it's off the record. Just real quick. A person traveling doesn't have to shorten. But the time period has to be the same. You feel what I'm saying? We're going to get to the, you know what I'm saying?
I got it.
So even if it was almost Fajr, she would pray Fajr, Maghrib, and Isha. Fajr doesn't combine with anything, y'all. Fajr doesn't combine with anything. The prayers that can be combined, you can combine Dhuhr and Asr with the correct reasoning, and you combine Maghrib and Isha with the correct reasoning. Fajr is not going to combine with anything. Yes.
Her intention still got to be to pray Dhuhr before Asr, right? Because of keeping them in order.
We're going to get to that. Inshallah. We're going to get to that. Tayyib. Everybody clear? Now, this is for a missed prayer. And this is exactly what you're talking about. وَيَجِبُ فَوْرًا قَضَاءُ الْفَوَائِدِ مُرَتَّبًا. The missed prayers are obligatory. It's obligatory to make up your missed prayers immediately, in order. What's a missed prayer? Number one, what is a missed prayer?
Prayer you didn't pray.
Huh?
Prayer you didn't pray.
A prayer you didn't pray in the right time. So right now is Asr. A person could be sitting here right now, and son, you be like, I forgot to pray Dhuhr today. Today, I forgot to pray Dhuhr. I didn't pray Dhuhr today. A person need to stand up right now. If they need to make wudu, go make wudu and pray Dhuhr now. A missed prayer. You with me? Because the time for Dhuhr already passed. They got to make it up. A missed prayer. Tayyib. What if I have 2 missed prayers that I missed? I'm sitting here and I say to myself, maybe we working, whatever the case may be. I did go to make wudu for Fajr, but I never prayed Fajr. I could be sitting here right now, remember that, right? Or is that unconceivable? That can't happen? Or people never forget they didn't pray Salat? It's possible. You forgot. I went to make wudu, but I never prayed Fajr. And then at Dhuhr, we was in track. I gotta pray Fajr and Dhuhr. Cool. It's Asr right now. Once I remember, it's obligatory now. Not I'm gonna chill till the class over. I don't want to miss the class. No, it's obligatory now to pray what I missed in order. What's in order? Fajr first, and then pray Dhuhr. What about Asr? I already prayed Asr. We prayed Asr already. I might have already prayed Asr, but I missed Fajr and Dhuhr today. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stand up. I'm not gonna wait until the class is over. I'm gonna stand up right now. Gonna make wudu if I need to make wudu, and I'm gonna pray Fajr, going to wherever out the way, pray my Fajr and my Dhuhr in order. I'm not gonna pray Dhuhr and then pray Fajr backwards. From the start of the day, every morning, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. That's in order. So whatever I missed, I'm gonna keep the same order. Everybody clear? That's the asl that we always keep the order of the prayers. Everybody clear? Tayyib. He says here it's 2 times. It's 2 times. What's the origin, y'all? We always keep the original order of the prayers, which is Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Even if I missed prayers, when I go to make them up, I make up my missed prayers in order. So I'm going to go back and pray Fajr first, then Dhuhr. If I miss 3 prayers, I'm going to pray Fajr, then Dhuhr, then Asr. I'm not going to pray backwards, pray Asr, because then pray Dhuhr, then pray. Everybody with me? Like, it's 2 times when I don't keep the order. 2 times when I'm not obliged to keep the order. What's the first time? If the salat that is in is about to go out. Okay. Anybody else? I forgot. Maybe I forgot which ones. I know Fajr, but I don't know which ones I didn't. Was that the? Because I could have missed the Fajr yesterday, missed the Dhuhr the next day. I can't remember, but I know I owe a Fajr in the. Right? If a person forgets the order, they just know they owe a prayer, they just pray. I forgot. But if I know the order that I missed, I keep the order. The second one is if I fear, it says بِخَشْيَةِ الْخُرُوجِ بِوَقْتِ اخْتِيَارِ الْحَاضِرَةِ. The salat that's in now, that salat is about to go out. So say, for example, say I didn't pray Dhuhr, right? I already missed Dhuhr, right? Say Maghrib is about to come in, and I got to pray Asr, right? It's enough time before the adhan of Maghrib. It's enough time for one prayer. It's enough time for one prayer. How many prayers do I need to make? 2. I need to pray my Dhuhr and my Asr. Before the adhan of Maghrib is only enough time for one prayer. If I pray Dhuhr, the one that I already missed, by the time I'm done, now I got to make up Asr. You see what I'm saying? So what do I do in that case? In that case, I drop the order. I pray what's in now, which is Asr. Then the adhan for Maghrib is going to go off, right? It's going to be Maghrib time. I'm going to make up my Dhuhr, right? And then once I'm finished my Dhuhr and salam out, I'll pray with the Jama'ah Maghrib. Everybody clear? It's 2 times. 2 times I'm not going to keep the order. The origin is whenever we miss prayers, we always pray the prayers in order. That means what's today is Wednesday. Well, the day I actually did, I missed Fajr and Dhuhr. That means we always start from Fajr. When I'm making up prayers, start from Fajr. If I miss Fajr and Dhuhr, I'm going to pray what first? Pray Fajr first and then pray Dhuhr first. If I miss 3 prayers, I'm going to pray Fajr, then Dhuhr, then Asr. I always keep the order except in 2 cases. I forgot the order. So I'm not even, don't even worry, I forgot. Everybody clear? Or the time right now is about to end for the prayer that's right now. So right now it's Asr time. I have to pray Asr, but I also missed Dhuhr. I also missed Dhuhr. The time that's left before the next prayer is only enough time for one prayer, but I need to make up how many prayers? 2. It's not enough time for 2 prayers before the next adhan. Which prayer do I pray now? The prayer that's in or the prayer that I missed earlier 4 hours ago? The prayer that's in, so that I keep the prayer that's in its proper time. The other prayer, which is my Dhuhr, it's already out of its time anyway. Everybody clear? It's already out of its time, whether it's in the time of Asr or in the time of Maghrib. It's already out of its time. So therefore, what do? I keep the prayer that's in right now and pray that one on time. Tayyib? Tayyib. The next condition is satrul awra, covering the awra. The awra is spelled Awrah, and I don't even think they translated it in here. Yeah, they didn't translate it. Does everybody know what the awra is? What's the awra? What is the awra? Covering the awra. Yes. The part of a male or female that has to be covered before they can pray. طيب. Anybody else? The aura.
Area from your navel to your knee.
The area from your navel to your knee. Okay. Anybody else?
I thought it was the hour that which covers your private.
Whatever covers the aura. The aura itself, and there's a couple different definitions for it. They describe it as the part of the body that you would not want people to see. People with sound mind, y'all. Not the environment. Don't compare it to the environment we living in. Because if that was the case, people would walk around with no shirts on. It's some things that people don't want other people to see. Right? People are shy for you to see this part of their body. Now, in our situation, the shyness has been removed from our hearts. May Allah forgive us and restore the haya in our women and the men. The shyness has been removed, so the women don't mind showing these parts. But anybody with sound mind and sense, certain parts of their body, they don't want everybody to see it. Naturally, even if they're not Muslims. The natural inclination is that certain parts of the body that we don't want other people to see. Right? That's one of the definitions of the aura. A-W-R-A-H. Even in here, they didn't translate it, but that's what it is. The part of the body that people are shy for other people to see. And when we talk about the aura in Islam, Allah made it haram for other people to see this except for the husband and wife, right? Specific situations. The husband and wife, right? That means that a man is able to see his wife's aura. He can see what nobody else can see. And this is an issue we have when it comes to covering and the shyness of women, sisters. The example should be taken from the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. The example should be taken from Islam, that Islam encourages our women to be shy, not for you to be aggressive. That's not Islamically encouraged. The aggression that our women have learned is from their upbringing in the society we live in. So the result is aggression. But Islam encourages our women to be soft, gentle, shy. Where we live, our sisters have been told that that's weak. They've been told for them to be soft, gentle, shy. They've been tricked in the music and in the movies and entertainment that that's weak. They've been told by celebrities that's weak. So they don't want to be shy and soft. They think they're getting walked over. But Islam encourages shyness, haya. Not just for the women, for the men and the women. There's a certain level of shyness that the Muslim is supposed to carry, we're supposed to carry ourselves with. So the aura is from the things that you are shy for somebody else to see. And that's why it's always better, the more covered you are, the better. You with a tight A-line overgarment where everybody can see your waist and your hips, everybody can see your chest, everybody can see all of that. That's not from haya. I'm sure you could have got the sister to make a bigger one. You could have wore a bigger scarf. It's ways to cover ourselves and have that shyness so that people don't see what Allah didn't make halal for us to see from you. So this is the aura. Now the aura is broken down into two sections. We have the general aura when we come outside every day. Certain things on a woman supposed to be covered, certain thing on a man supposed to be covered. And then we have the aura in the salat. We have things that must be covered in the salat. Everybody clear? Right now, we're talking about the aura, what has to be covered in the salat. Everybody clear? Tayyib. He says, number one, this is a condition for the salat, meaning you can't stand up to make the salat if the aura is not covered. Tayyib. Number one, he says, فَيَجِبُ بِمَا لَا يَصِفُ بَشَرَتَهَا. The aura if we're going to say the odor, let's just say what has to be covered in the salat. It's obligatory to cover yourself with clothes that are not, in basic terms, see-through. See-through. Everybody clear? Most people equate clothing in salat to what? How do clothes have to be? No. Describe the clothing that you wear in the salat. It has to be what? Huh? Loose. Clean. Clean, no doubt. It has to be clean. And that's a conversation of what we mean by cleanness. Loose. The obligation in the clothing worn in the salat, and this is important, y'all. Wording is very important. When we say obligation, that's your bare minimum. That's not the best thing necessarily. It's your bare minimum. The more you're covered in the prayer, the better. The more you covered, the better. Bare minimum, you can't be praying in something that's see-through. Yeah, you got a prayer garment, but the prayer garment is a see-through prayer garment. Meaning the material is see-through. You got a thobe on, but some of the thobes, some of the material, if you get the wrong material for a thobe, is see-through. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious. Brother had a thobe on. Brother had a white thobe on. He got a white thobe on. He doesn't have on any pants under the thobe. Right? Now, there might not be a problem if the material is thick enough and it's not see-through. That might not be a problem. The only problem is the material he got is see-through material. So everybody walking around with his underwear showing. Everybody with me? Does he have on a thobe? Does that thobe meet the requirements for covering the odor? No. Everybody get it? That's the first thing he mentioned. I don't think that's what it is here. It says, should not reveal the characteristics of the skin. You shouldn't be able to see the color of a person's skin in the clothes they're praying in. Then the ulama discuss, even if it's tight, it shouldn't be. It's not like we want the loose, all that's fine. We're talking about bare minimum. And I'm saying this on purpose because what happened is, and I'm only saying this because this is how we are. What happened is, it'll be time for Maghrib, a brother come here, he coming from the gym. He's coming from the gym. So he has on the compression pants and some shorts. Black compression pants. Can you see his skin through the compression pants? And some shorts. We're going to turn around and say, you can't pray like that. Right? We're going to say, you can't pray like that. And we're going to go get him in his Azar. Nothing wrong with getting his Azar. But if the brother doesn't pray like that, this is where the issue comes in. If he prays Maghrib like that, once he finishes, somebody's going to go to him and say, Assalamu alaikum, you got to pray over. You have to pray over. Why got to pray over? Because your odor's not covered. Why is this odor not covered? Because you got on compression pants and shorts. You got to be covered from here to here. Well, what's the odor for the man? That's the next question. The odor for the man. Everybody with me? That's why I'm mentioning it like that. Bare minimum is the skin. Can't be able to see a person's skin through the clothes they're praying in, man or woman. Right? Now he says the odor for the man. I don't know how he translated this. All right, if you had to check the PDF, it says men, slave, nursing mother, partially free slave. All right. It says Walid. Nursing mother? Allahu A'lam. I don't know if that's accurate. Nursing mother, if you're reading the PDF. The nursing mother?
As she's nursing, something like
Walid. Walid. Allah A'lam. I had to check that. But let's just focus on the men. The odor for the man. Right? He says, min as-surra ila rukbah. From the navel, from the belly button to the knee. What does that mean? From the belly button to the knee. Huh? Pay attention. From the belly button to the knee. 3, the scholars differ in this point right here. The scholars differ. According to this position, the belly button is not from the ulna and neither are the knees. So if a brother had on shorts right above his knees, he can pray like that, according to this position. Some hold the position that the belly button is not from the ulna, the navel is not from the button, and neither are the knees. That's one position. Some hold the position that the belly button and the knees are from the ulna, so both have to be covered. For the men, we talking about men. Yes. Right? And the third position is that the belly button has to be covered and the knees don't. Clear? 3 different opinions. I'm not here to tell you which one is most correct, what's the strongest. I'm just saying, what we learning here, according to this author, according to this text, from the navel to the knee, and the meaning, the belly button and the knee are not from the ulna, according to the position the author holds. Everybody clear? So you see a brother praying, his knees uncovered, doesn't necessarily mean he might be following a position. And when I say a position, all of the positions have proof from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's all about how you understand the hadith. But what about these are hadith? So we're not getting into all that. We're not here for that part. We're here for to understand the text. Yes.
You said 3 different positions.
Yes. 3 positions on the order of the man in the salat. Number 1, let's start here. The order, the navel, the belly button, and the knee are from the ulna. They both have to be covered. The second position, the belly button, the navel has to be covered, but the knees don't. In the third position, the belly button and the knees, neither one of them have to be covered. Neither one of them from the ulna. So that means just below the belly button and just above the knee. According to the author, neither one of them have to be covered in the salat. Yes.
So the safe thing would be
Good. Jade. Now we're talking safe. Those are the positions. What's safe? Nobody's going to argue if the belly button and the knees are covered. You're good. You see what I'm saying? You're good all around the board. But point is to understand, when we see people doing something other than what's safe, just because I'm doing what's safe doesn't mean the person that's doing something else doesn't have dalil from the Sunnah of the Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam. Maybe I don't know the dalil. Maybe I don't really understand it. I'm just doing what's safe because I want to be safe. But don't look at everybody else and everybody else is wrong because they're not doing what's safe. Tayyib. He says, وَكُلُّ حُرَّةٌ عَوْرَةٌ إِلَّا وَجْهَهَا. This is in the salat. It says, the whole body of the woman is the awrah. And it says the free woman, meaning she's not a slave. Our women are free women. Right? Brothers? I don't know. Brothers. Are the women free? The women are free, brothers. You know what I'm saying? They're not slaves. They're slaves. They are slaves of Allah. And we're slaves of Allah. Right? In a sense, we free. What is the odor? What has to be covered in the woman for the salat? Everything except for her face is in the salat. Remember, we have the odors broken into 2 categories. What has to be covered in general. Come outside every day, what has to be covered, and then what has to be covered specifically in the prayer. Everybody clear? When we talking about the prayer right now, the prayer, what has to be covered for a man in the prayer? The odor is his what? According to this text, let's say the navel to the knee, and the navel and the knee are not included. So between the belly button and the knees, right? The woman, everything about the woman is odor, which should be a sign for it, sisters. Everything about you is odor. Everything about you is supposed to be concealed. This is in the salat, except for the face. Her face in the salat is not considered to be odor. Meaning, what does that mean for a woman? If her face doesn't have to be covered in the salat, what does that mean? Huh? She don't have to wear niqab when she prays. That's not odor. Everybody get it? A woman wears niqab. She goes to pray the salat. What does she do? As we say, she flips her niqab up and she makes the salat. Tayyib? We ain't get there yet. I'm glad you asked that, though. This is a question. This is a question. I'm worded like this on purpose. What can a woman show from her body during the salat? Her face. She can show that. That's what she can show. Does she have to show her face? That's a different question. You with me? Can she show her face? She can show her face. Why can she show her face in the salat? Because her face is not a part of the odor in the salat. We ain't talking about outside of the salat. Outside of the salat, has a difference. The face from the odor, we're not even getting into that. Tayyib. Fadl.
Everything except the face, right?
Yes, in the salat, yes. Everything on a woman is odor except for the face.
Hands, feet.
Listen, everything except for the face, according to the author. Now, just to be, since you mentioned it, some scholars they have a conversation and a debate about the hands. What about the hands and the feet? There's a conversation about that, but I don't want to go into all the conversations as we go through. But there's a conversation of, can the hands be exposed? Some include also the hands don't have to be covered also. Okay, because most of our women cover when they pray, if they're not outside or if they don't wear gloves, right? They're going to pray with their face exposed and their hands exposed. If they're on the sister side, they have their hands exposed and they have their niqab. If they have niqab, they have their niqabs lifted up, and right? So the hands are mentioned in some of the positions that the hands don't have to be covered. I'm just going off with the author mentioned. Jazakallah khairan. Jazakallah khairan. Yes.
I was trying to get to the feet, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
The feet.
I'm just asking
Yeah.
if I got daughters, I got to teach them the salat. No comment.
There are fatwa. There's fatwa from some of the ulama who, like Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah, if I'm not mistaken. He gave a fatwa that the feet, no problem. What's safer? It's safer to cover. And I always tell my kids and stuff this: if you're in the house, you in the house, you got all the clothes in the world to put on. Why are you going to shortchange yourself on your salat and covering? And you in the house, you can get any clothes you want. You can get socks. You can get a longer, whatever you want to do, put it on. You're in the house at your comfort. If you out moving around, then that's a different situation. You get stuck somewhere, right? Safest thing, so that we don't get into the gray area, because it's the salat. Safest thing is to cover, for a woman to cover everything except her face. Some ulama have allowed for the hands to be exposed, also the feet. The fatwa, you might read a fatwa from Sheikh, one of the ulama who say if a woman prays with her feet as her fine, and he says yes, her salat is fine. That means that's one of the opinions, that the feet are allowed to be exposed in the salat. That's what that means. Okay. Yeah, Sheikh, I'm sorry.
With the brothers, well, as far as their hour, is there a situation where the garment's supposed to come up over the shoulders for the salat?
Yeah, we can already get to that, inshallah. Tayyib. Those are the two areas for the odor for the men and the women. The next, he says, rahimahullah. Now, what we just spoke about, the odor, that's bare minimum. Now we're moving on. What's recommended? What's recommended? What does that mean? It's recommended. Sunnah.
It means that you're encouraged to do it.
It's encouraged to do.
But if you don't do it, you're not sinning.
If you don't do it, it's not a sin, but it's better to do it like what's going to be mentioned. Right? He says, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ صَلَاتُهُ فِي ثَوْبَيْنِ. He said it's recommended for a man to pray, and I'm gonna just use the direct terms like this. I don't even know how he translated this. It says a two-piece garment. You know what people wear on Hajj? People had a white on. That's basically you basically take two izars. You put one izar around your waist like we usually do, and another izar up top. They just white. It's like two izars. He said it's recommended to pray for a man to pray in two garments. Meaning what? What does that do for him? He's more covered than the bare minimum. In the salat, the bare minimum is what? The navel to the neck. Cool. It's better for a man to pray more covered. Most of us, we're going to pray in like a shirt, some pants, some jeans, or a thobe, or you got a t-shirt on, or an izar. So most of us going to meet that requirement anyway. But you go to certain parts of the world, depending on how they dress there. Right? He says, وَيَكْفِي فِي سَتْرَ أَوْرَتِهِ. He says, when it comes to a voluntary prayer. What's the bare minimum for a man? It's Oda. Huh? What's the bare minimum for a man, Oda? Huh? Huh? Bare minimum is what? More specific. Huh? Between the navel and the knee. Bare minimum. That bare minimum works for sunnah prayers. That's enough for a sunnah prayer. I'm not saying we try and do this, y'all, but you might want to go home and practice this just because it's allowed in Islam. That means a person praying a sunnah prayer, not the 5 obligatory prayers, they only have on, let's say, a towel that covers right under the belly button to right above the kneecaps. A sunnah prayer, and they pray a sunnah prayer like that. No shirt. No shirt. A sunnah prayer. In an obligatory prayer, he says, وَمَا أَحْدَ أَعْتِقَيْهِ فِي الْفَرْضِ. In an obligatory prayer, he needs to have at least one of his shoulders covered, along with what's between the kneecaps and the navel and the belly button, at least one shoulder covered. All this is based on a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that's not mentioned in this book. All right. Everybody clear? Therefore, there are minimums for voluntary prayers, and then there's a bare minimum for obligatory prayers. The bare minimum for voluntary prayers is what? What's between the navel and the knee for a voluntary prayer. That means he has nothing on his legs, no socks, maybe no shirt on. The bare minimum for obligatory prayer is what's between the navel and the knee, and one of the shoulders are covered. It don't matter which one. One of them, though. Everybody clear? You with me? He says, that why in high say, well, that's different. Prophet say something, he did that when he was making the tawaf. Tayyib. It says, and it's also recommended for the woman. It says, salatuha fi dir'in wa khimarin wa milhafa. I don't know how they translated that. It says her inner garment, head scarf, and outer garment. What's the bare minimum for a woman to pray? What's the bare minimum for a woman to be covered? Everything except for the face. The sisters know, the brothers, if you got wives or daughters, you know they got them prayer garments, right? Sisters, right? The prayer garments. How many pieces of cloth is the prayer garment? It's a one piece. It comes over, it covers everything except for some of them, the face and the hands, right? That's one garment. And she can pray like that, no problem. It's not see-through. But what's better? It's better if she has more covering. That's what this means. A dir, they translate it as an inner garment. She has one garment that's already big. Then she puts another garment, of course, the khimar, right? And then she puts the outer garment on. How many is that? That's 3. What does that do for her? It covers her more. It covers more of her body. Turn the air on, sis. You got air. Turn the air on. It's going to be hot. You don't have to do it, but it's better. The more you cover, the better. What do the women covering, what does that do for society? What does women covering do for society? Man, give me a regular answer. What do that mean?
Tame the desire.
And who?
Tame the desires.
Tame the desires.
Perverted people out there.
Perverted wolves out
I'm perverted wolves. It's real simple. What does it do when the women are covered? No doubt. No. What does it do? Yeah, definitely identify. What does it do for the society at large?
Put them in check. Let them know.
No, y'all, we men. Come on.
They can't see.
You can't. You don't look at them. You're not really looking. Sisters, if you don't know, most men are not walking around looking at the girls who are covered. Hold on. Let me feel. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Thanks. Hold on. Listen what I'm saying. It's more. I say it like that. It's more likely, sister, It's more likely a man's eye is going to be drawn to a woman who's uncovered than covered. They're looking because she don't have clothes on. I'm not talking about just Muslims, y'all. I'm talking about men in general. Now, assuming the clothes are not tight, right? And I'm only going to say this because I don't want it to be, I wanted you to think outside of our circle, right? Think outside of the Islamic circle. You don't see people chasing around. I'm serious. Sheikh looked up like, hold up. You don't see people chasing around Jehovah's Witness women. You know how they dress? Long, very, very covered. You don't even notice them. You with me? They there. Their hair's not covered, but the way they dress, most people not really chasing them around. You with me? That's the idea behind it. Now put it back in our context. That's what the hijab is supposed to do. It's supposed to keep that down. The hijab is not supposed to be, yo, you seen sis, and I can describe you because everybody saw how you were dressed. Nobody missed how you were dressed. You with me? It's supposed to keep it down. So the more covering, the less exposure we have of looking at women who we shouldn't be looking at. It's not rocket science. So in this case, he's saying that basically, if she puts on more garments, 3 in this case, that's better. But if she prayed with the one prayer garment or the one overgarment like our sisters wear or like that, that's enough. As long as her over covered, it's enough. We're not gonna go home and say everybody got to put on 3 garments every time you pray.
All right, question select. Say the sister, she wears like a dress in the house, like she wears a dress in the house, it's long, whatever. Then she add her prayer garment on. She do wear like a little kima, right? Do that, like the dress she has on underneath that she was walking around the house, does that count as a garment? Inshallah.
Inshallah. It's no specific. He said if a woman has on like a dress she has in the house, she has a dress. It doesn't mention here necessarily what type of garment it has to be necessarily. It says a dir, which is a dir is like a long shirt. Dir is like a long shirt. So let's just say you have house clothes. She might have a long shirt that she wears in the house. It's a one-piece shirt, but maybe it's short sleeve. She can't pray in it. You know what I'm saying? She takes that one piece she has on shirt, however long it is, and she puts on her prayer garment on top of that. Right? I'm making this up now. The prayer garment has the headpiece doesn't stay on good while she's praying. So she puts a khimar also, like a regular khimar. The more covered, the better. That's the idea. The more covered, the better. But if she prayed in one garment that covered everything that needed to be covered, that's enough. Tayyib? That's clear? I think I'm gonna stop there because this next issue is kind of detailed, which means it's going to require some explanation about the odor, which means that if a person is praying, brothers, it's important, especially the brothers, them small pants, small shirts. I ain't gonna say small shirts. I'm saying brothers, the shirts that just fit. It's a t-shirt, it just fits at your waist, right? And then you have on a pair of jeans, they just fit in too. The jeans might even be, they low riders, like they like coming down. You can't even keep them up, right? Everybody with me? I'm tripping. You know what I'm talking about? It's a style, cool. You do that, brother. When it comes time to pray, your backside, your crack is part of your odor. If that is out too long, if your backside is exposed, if it's out, it's not covered with your shirt or your pants. And brothers do it all the time. They go on real court and they be holding their shirt down. They come up and they pulling their shirt down. They go on sajda, they pulling their shirt down, right? If the backside, if the odor is uncovered for too long of a period, it's a problem. Depending on how much of the backside is showing. Everybody with me? The odor has to be covered the entire prayer. If it's exposed real quick and covered up, that's one thing. Depending on how much is shown. But I'm gonna just stop there because it's gonna be too much. I don't want to go too far.
But ain't that the same? Isn't that the same? And I'm just talking about recommending. I'm talking about changing the bare minimum. because you were talking about being safe,
Mm.
recommended, right? So isn't that the same thing with covering the outer? Because the same way you're talking about the backside, same thing can happen with the knees with the shorts. Going from position to position.
Well, the knee's not part of the outer.
Now I'm saying coming above the knee.
Cool. He said, couldn't that happen if you have on shorts? So you're praying in shorts, and couldn't your outer be exposed, even though the knee is not from the outer? He said, couldn't your outer be exposed too long or a lot if you have on shorts? Which gonna be your answer?
That's like a private part. Right?
What's gonna be your answer? Can the knees be too exposed if you pray in shorts, right? We saying that the knees are not from the outer for a man. So I pray in a pair of basketball shorts. But the basketball shorts, not the old school Jones, the new ones. Not the new ones, but let's just say the Jones that come right above the knee, right? I pray in those. Is it possible that my shorts, that my outer is exposed when I pray? Huh?
If you go in that position.
This the thing. All that's going to require detail. I'm going to say it depends. It depends on what? It depends on the type of shorts, the material, how long the shorts of, how far up they rise when I go down. All that's going to be depending. It's not automatic just because you got on shorts and you go down, your outer's going to be exposed. You feel what I'm saying?
No, but it happens though.
It can happen. And whose responsibility is that? That's the brother who prays like that. That's your responsibility to make sure your outer stays covered from the beginning of the salat to the end. All that stuff the Sheikh said in the book, none of that matters when you praying. The Sheikh gave you the limits in the book. It's your I'm saying it's our job as men that we keep the limits, and women, that we keep the limits of the outer while we praying. If that means if I pray in these shorts and I go down to pray, if it's going to rise up too high to the middle of my thigh, I shouldn't be praying in them shorts.
I only brought that up because of what you said about the kimar.
Same idea, yeah. If anything that could be exposed, that's my job to recognize that and correct it. So it's easier, safer. If I got shorts on, it's safer to do what? Put an izar on. At least my prayer, I'm cool, I'm safe. I'm gonna stop there, inshallah, because the issue is connected to if something happens and it's not right, you have to pray over. The salat is not gonna count. Fadl.
I got a question. Let's say I get in an accident or something like that, and the doctor prescribed me a narcotic for pain, right?
Uh-huh.
They say you gotta take it as needed. But when I take it, I don't feel comfortable praying. So when it wear off, say I take it, all right, I pray for it, then I take the medication, whatever. But when Dora come in, I still feel woozy and all that.
Mm.
And yeah, just say having this ulcer come in, I still feel woozy. When Grip come in, I'm good. Should I pray Dora and ulcer because I'm not high off the narcotic? I can pray, or is it something like? Remember, the doctor prescribed it. It's not the.
That's a setup question, Sheikh. It's like I'm messing with you. But honestly, it depends. You saying feel woozy. Feeling woozy don't mean I can't pray. You feel me? Feeling woozy doesn't mean I can't pray. It depends. If I take the medicine at Fajr, the Dhuhr comes in, I don't feel enough to pray. I got 4 more hours till Asr comes in. I don't have to pray Dhuhr as soon as it comes in, especially if I'm not feeling right from the medicine. I can wait until it's almost Asr time, right? And say I'm still not feeling that great. Do I feel good enough? Ask yourself, what am I doing when I'm sitting here? Because if I really need to keep the salat in this time, I could sit down and pray. If it's crazy, if I'm not knocked out, I would sleep till Maghrib. All right, cool. But I'm in the house. I don't feel good, but I feel good enough to lay there and watch and turn the TV and stuff. Yo, grab me some. I'm good enough to do all of that. You feel me? Even if I don't feel great enough to stand, I don't want the time to go out. I'm gonna pray Dhuhr. I'm gonna just sit down for Dhuhr based on the meds. Asr come in. I might pray Asr right soon as Asr come in the same type of situation. I'll sit for Asr. I'm chilling. By Maghrib, I'm good. Maghrib, I'll stand back up and pray normal. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's one answer for it. It depends. How bad am I affected by the medication? You see what I'm saying? If the medication has me done, I don't even know what's going on. That's one thing.
But if you're done, when you just, all right, so never mind, you answered it earlier. You said he was unconscious. So
Khalas. Inshallah. So we stopped at next week. I think it's page 207 or 206. 206, the bottom of 206. Inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak bina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.